Welcome to the Indie Corner, where we talk about all things in the comics. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Mikey.
And today, people, we are covering More Than Meets the Eye Volume 7, which covers issues 34 through 38. Are you guys ready to get into this?
Yeah.
No! Yeah.
What's the ratio of issues you actually got through this week?
I actually read all 4 of them.
I think it was 5, but okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't do the
Close
last one. I skipped the last one.
Alright, so Mikey, if you'll pull my slides up.
Sure thing. And here's the thingy.
Alright, so More Than Meets the Eye, number 34. We got a different artist on this than usual. Today, for this issue, we got Antilio Rojo on the art.
And I like it. I like it more than Milne's art, I think, in my opinion.
I feel like you said that when we've had this artist before.
Yeah. I like
Anyway, getting into it. So as a quick reminder to last month's More Than Meet the Eye volume, you may recall before everyone disappeared with the universe clone thing, that Rodimus put out an order to reconvene at a nearby planet. Well, we begin our issue on said nearby planet with a smaller group of our crew. This includes Blue Streak, Mainframe, First Aid, and Trail Cutter / Trail Breaker, whose names I'm going to use interchangeably.
Yeah.
So if I say either one, I'm still talking about the same character.
Sure.
So Trailbreaker is reading the post-war edition of Megatron's manifesto, and the big difference with this edition is that it tacks on Megatron's statement for Decepticons to stand down. So elsewhere, First Aid calls the boys in. On this planet, they found a fellow Cybertronian who's very badly burned. You might even say a bit crispy based on this panel.
Okay, hold on. So are we talking how crispy are we talking here?
Girl, look at you.
like are we talking just KFC original crispy or extra crispy KFC chicken?
I don't know how to answer that one.
Right, well, okay then. Move on.
Anyway, so Blue Streak and Mainframe are apprehensive to help this guy, though, because they don't know what side he's on. And First Aid says it doesn't matter and goes off to get his medical supplies. As First Aid returns with Trailbreaker in tow, he sees the body was moved and is now losing robot blood fast. However, if they all donate 2 liters of blood, they might be able to save him, though there's a slight risk that comes with donating that much.
Okay, I have a question here, because this actually bothered me. So is Energon essentially it's essentially just blood, right? That's what Energon essentially is for Transformers, or is it just
it's kind of blood and kind of food at this? I don't know. It's fuel,
It's fuel. It's because I just assumed as a kid that Transformers ran on oil, but as oil was their blood or something.
I mean, it's space oil, so
and that Energon was the spark, their soul or whatever. I don't fucking know. It's dumb science shit. Okay.
They also eat it? It's also food?
It's fuel. So they eat it, I guess. They're drinking it when they go to the bar, I guess.
Yeah, you don't remember when Trail Cutter drank all of freaking Megatron's Energon, and it was the purest Energon ever, and he got super drunk off of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
Energon is Robo Juice.
Okay.
Yeah, Robo Juice.
Yeah.
Anyway, while they're discussing the donation, Blue Streak, who's looking for this guy's badge, instead finds his face, meaning this guy... Sorry, I can't read what the fuck I wrote. So Blue Streak, instead of finding a badge, finds this guy's face, and this lets us, the audience, know this isn't just a normal Decepticon. This is a member of the DJD.
I forgot about this, man. Because I literally looked at this panel, was why does this look awfully familiar? And then in the other pages we'll see, but then that reveal, I was oh my god, this guy.
Unfortunately, our characters don't possess this info, meaning they just think he's a scary Decepticon. Blue Streak and Mainframe back out of donating and head back to the group's shuttle. However, Trail Cutter is still in, saying they'll both just have to give the riskier 4 liters of blood now. As they begin, the injured guy mumbles the DJD slogan, and First Aid realizes who this is, saying even though he's a doctor, he morally can't help such an evil person who's led to such personal trauma. However, Trailcutter believes he still has to see this through, even if he has to donate everything himself.
Idiot. He is. Like, he's stupid. Like, it's just, okay.
As you may suspect, this backfires pretty quickly with the guy attacking Trailbreaker and launching him, and him launching himself across the room to escape. Now injured, he tells First Aid to go and get help since he'd only slow him down, and throws up his force field, which again, if you recall, no one can get in or out of, including himself. Unfortunately, after First Aid leaves, it's revealed that there's a second DJD hidden in the room and inside the force field with Trailbreaker. Flashback to long ago, this evil psychologist, aptly named Freud, shows up on a planet on the planet past Megatron's at, and determines he's too much of a free thinker and prescribes him a lobotomy.
Oof.
A little bit later, we get this wall of text in our comic book, which, if you didn't bother reading, is just an excerpt of Megatron's manifesto.
Yeah, I was like, do I have to read this? And I was like, my mom was like, no, you don't, and I just skipped it.
Yeah, I figured as much. Anyway, so he's just reciting it to his friend / mentor, whose name is Terminus, and who's not in great shape here.
And this was like the dude that like Megatron has referenced in previous books about like the guy that he like idolized or whatever. I think.
Yeah, he was mentioned in the last volume.
Yeah. Okay.
So the old guy's like, underground literature is cool and all, but we're gonna need to throw some punches if we want healthcare or social welfare or rights. And baby-faced Megatron is like, I don't know, I don't really believe in violence, and I couldn't be like a figurehead, and all those other like ironic statements. However, the government seems to be revving things up and making threats when suddenly Megatron is tased. So waking up, Megatron is tied down in a room with an evil doctor. So he starts getting lobotomized when just then the doctor gets a call to stop. Though this still traumatizes Megatron, is like really fucked up the way it's laid out in the comic.
Yeah.
Anyway, turns out you need 2 signatures for your government-sanctioned lobotomy, and Rung didn't give his. Additionally, there's a convenient power surge where everyone will have to evacuate this planet. So back in the present, our group returns and see what's become of poor Trailcutter.
Bruh. They
got him fucked up.
When you think you've seen it all in a Transformers comic, because we've seen people get cut in half either horizontally and vertically, but now we just see this man playing with freaking Trailcutter like he's a fucking doll. Like it's Lord.
Man, that's what fucking Trailblazer gets. This book is confusing enough without this guy having 6 different names. I'm glad he's dead.
So the group tries to tell the DJD members to look at their iPad and see that Megatron said to knock it off, but the 2 teleport away, stealing the iPad and crushing Trailcutter's brain, leaving him super dead. In the past, once more, we see Megatron escaped, and in the midst of the evacuation, went back to the mines only to see his friend gone, collecting his writings before leaving and full of guilt. Finally, as everyone clears out, Brainstorm appears having successfully time traveled. And that's the end of issue 34. So what do we think?
I just want to take the moment to appreciate baby Megatron's caution tape eyebrows. I didn't really notice it until now, but yeah, I love them. They're on fleek. He did a good job. Okay, first off, when I read the ending of this book with Brainstorm, I was like, oh, why is Getaway here? Because they all look the same. And then I was just like, and I was like, oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, like he kind of tried to time travel last volume, and he just didn't know if it was successful or not. So I was like, okay, that's a cool surprise. This issue was cool. I was a bit confused at first because I didn't realize that at first when I read it that like, oh yeah, we're just jumping back and forth in time with like these fuckers in the present day, and then the flashbacks for Terminus and Megatron.
I warned you we were getting into time travel. You should have expected this.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. I just didn't connect when I read it for some reason. Not well when I started reading it, at least I got it. I understood it like towards the middle. But that was cool. I found out what Trailbreaker's weakness is freaking tunnels. That's cool. Right? Like it's just like that's kind of funny that like no one's ever thought of like to dig underneath the
I
bubble.
don't know if that would work, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, listen, this Decepticon was able to do it, so fuck it.
He was already in there.
Was he already? Oh, I thought he just like.
Yeah, that was the plot twist.
Oh no! I thought he was just like underneath, like the second.
He just Looney Tunes his way
he
in.
was just in the basement or something, and he just like, I'm awake now, and just burrowed up. Okay, well, whatever. I still want to think it's tunnels. But yeah, no, it's issue was cool, I guess. I mean, it's not. I mean, the really good twists in here in terms of like the stuff with Traitor, because like you think he's gonna make it, but in reality he doesn't. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
The evil lobotomy doctor was creepy. That was a creepy guy.
Yeah, I was like rereading that sequence. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is dark.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Did that guy even have a name?
Probably. I didn't write it down though.
Sigmund Freud. Yes.
Oh, was that Freud?
No, that was the other guy, but it doesn't matter. So.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, he was creepy, and I liked that segment. That's kind of all my thoughts.
And I want to add real quick. I fucking forgot. Like I literally forgot about Remove My Face, and I was so happy to see that he was back. Like I was like, what the hell? Like because he's such a creepy character. He's so creepy in terms of just like he likes to remove his face and just put it on people. Like it's just, it's creepy shit.
Him. He was in the arc with the
like
DJD.
The standout of like all of the DJD members was him because he took off his face, spiked it up, and was like, "Wear my face," and it was like a huge ass close up. I was surprised you remember that. That's what I mostly remember from the DJD.
I don't remember much of the DJD, honestly. I wasn't super impressed by them. I don't
see them more in the next couple volumes because there are repercussions to ending the Decepticons.
Matt, come on. You don't remember they're the death row records of Transformers, like fucking Tornish, fucking Suge Knight. Come on now. He's the Suge Knight of Transformers.
Who? Tarn?
Yeah, Tarn. He's the Suge Knight of Transformers.
Yeah, how could you forget the Suge Knight of Transformers?
Word. Yeah, put that on a fucking shirt. Yeah, Torn is the Suge Knight of Transformers. All right, continue.
All right. One more thing I wanted to say because I forgot to mention it earlier. So the cover of this was the cover I mentioned last time where Ultra Magnus is on it and he's not in the issue.
I died. I thought it was so funny. And I love the fact that like the dialogue is because of like how they expressing like his personality of how he's so by the book and they use that as like the joke. I think it's so funny. It's very clever.
It's very good. It's very good. I love this cover.
Do we see more of these though? These types of covers, like with him just like talking shit, or is that this the only one in the series?
I think that's the only like joke cover, but I haven't looked at enough of the covers to know.
They should have done it like every 5 issues. That would have been hilarious.
It's great. It's great that we get this really, really, really goofy, funny joke cover, and then this is one of the darkest issues kind of we've read so far. between the lobotomy doctor and the way Trail Cutter gets eviscerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to more darkness. We got issue 35, back to Alex Milne and also with Brian Shearer helping out.
I think this cover sucks.
I agree.
I don't like it at all.
It's not the most exciting. You usually don't want your comic covers with a bunch of text on it.
It's just it's more sign, more neon sign, less Transformers, and I don't like it.
And it's ugly neon sign. I think it's a bad cover all around.
It's just shit, man. Who did it? Actually, no. I want to call them out by name.
Put them on blast.
I want they don't have the. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna do my research while you're talking. Okay, continue.
Check the wiki.
If it was Milne, dude, you suck, dude. What the hell? What the hell were you thinking?
I have to assume.
All right, so we begin this issue sometime in the past with Rewind picking up Minimus, also known as Ultra Magnus, from the airport. Here we get a lot of text explaining how bad society's gotten. Minimus got laid off. The planet sold one of its moons because they're being bullied by other space powers. They perform violating searches on Citizen. And, they're doing a bunch of genociding, including gunning people down in the street.
That's the thing. This man gets clapped in, like, public, and, like, no one cares. And it's just like, oh, shit. Like, it's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just then, Rewind wakes up and sees this was all just a bad dream. We also see Chrome Dome bust down the door to comfort him, only to be reminded that this isn't his Rewind and their relationship can't just go back to normal. Anyway, the two talk, and Rewind goes, "Man, it sure was messed up when all that stuff I dreamed about happened," only to see that the info is no longer in his database and seemingly never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Elsewhere on the ship, Megatron is examining Trailcutter's corpse when Rodimus arrives and tells him that while this is Megatron's fault and they'll get revenge eventually, right now they have bigger problems on their hands. According to Rodimus, Brainstorm tried to kill everyone in Swerve's last volume by poisoning the alcohol supply, which activated when he opened his briefcase, and they were only spared because Swerve dilutes his drinks. And to make matters worse, they believe he's escaped by time traveling 4 million years into the past. Megatron has a small outburst because being captain of the Lost Light means he keeps being pulled into ridiculous space adventures. Then he, Ultra Magnus, and Rodimus determined Brainstorm tried to kill everyone so he'd be free to time travel, and as a Decepticon double agent, he must be going back to change the outcome of the war. So later, resident Smart Guy Perceptor explains that they found Brainstorm's time machine, which consists of all his briefcases except for the control case, which he has, which are connected to and powered by the ship's engines. Unfortunately for our crew, Brainstorm was smart enough to lampshade the problems of paradoxes, so anything he does in the past is just going to create a new timeline and make this one fade out of existence.
Right.
I died laughing. We're just like, oh yeah, he has one. He just has a time. Yeah, he has a time case. But then
James Roberts looks directly into the camera and says, "We're not doing parallel universe." I think I'm too clever for that.
It's so funny, and you just see just a sea of other briefcases, and just like, what the no.
So luckily for our heroes, the briefcase Nightbeat picked up last volume was also a control case, so some of the crew can travel back in time and try to stop Brainstorm. Megatron says if they're going that far in the past, then it's obvious that Brainstorm's going to try to kill Optimus Prime. So over in the Hell timeline, Minimus and Rewind arrive at his brother's place only to see that the reason he hasn't heard from him lately is because his head was replaced with a screen, meaning he no longer has a voice. And to make matters worse, this thing comes pre-installed with pop-up ads. Rewind and Dominus, who's his brother, ask if seeing this will bring Minimus to their anti-government side, but he dodges the question and leaves to go to a meeting where he'll be getting a new job. Cut to this timeline's government, which consists of 12 hyper-religious fascists called the Council. They've reached a decision that since people like Rewind can store information that could be used against them, they're going to be recalled, aka genocided. Fast forward a little bit, Minimus returns to see that things have only gotten worse. His brother's speech has further been reduced when the screen suddenly starts reacting to what him and Rewind are saying. Turns out Minimus's new job is a surveillance officer, and the government put cameras in his eyeballs. Rewind says he'll put a stop to the government one way or another because his obsolescence chip was deactivated, so they can't suicide squad him. But then the government says they have a backup, and Rewind starts dying as we end issue 35. So thoughts?
Man, this whole arc is just kind of dark. It's kind of super dark.
That's what I was thinking.
So, fucking Prince Robot is.
That's okay. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yo, like fucking Alex Roberts clearly just read some Saga before writing this fucking arc.
Oh, I didn't read Saga, so I didn't get what you were saying. But
yeah, it's the character with the TV screen head.
Got it.
Yeah. And they put cameras in Minimus's eyes.
But where's his eyes though? Like it's
There's
just
still his eyes. There's just he's a fucking robot. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I'm saying like there's no eyes though. It's mostly screen, less eyes. So I don't.
Not his eyes, Minimus.
Yes.
Oh, Minimus's eyes. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is, and that's in the past, right? That's past stuff.
That's in the past, but it's like an alternate timeline.
That's an alternate timeline.
That's the alternate timeline.
Yeah, that's why I called it the Hell timeline.
I knew
everything's bad.
Yeah, I knew it was in the past. I didn't connect it with alternate timeline, but yeah, granted, Rewind was dying, so it doesn't happen in the main timeline. Okay, Transformers is confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of sci-fi going on here.
Oh my god. Yeah, I do think it's cool though. Like, I guess in this alternate timeline that like yeah, if a Transformers alt mode is obsolete, we're just gonna explode them like out of nowhere, and it's just like that's so dark. And the fact that like the council, yeah, they're how fascist they all are, deciding that like that's the best way to get around things in order to like move forward is to just delete the ones that they seem to be not, that are obsolete is just awful. And just wow. Yeah, this alt world sucks.
Sure
Megatron
does. I hope we don't see them again.
Megatron's little temper tantrum was really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Yo, oh my god. Fucking Alex Roberts, I swear to God. I just realized that the fucking the police officers look like fucking judges. I don't know if you've from like Dread.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh, you can kind of see it in this panel.
Well, there's another page that I'm looking at. I'll flip to my phone. Like it's literally like right here. He's a fucking judge. Like he's a judge. It's just like that's clearly he's supposed to be like the judges from like Judge Dredd, but that's Transformer. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up.
I love it and I hate it at the same time. But it also makes sense why they're so adamant to kill people because in Dredd they're judge, jury, and executioner. So
right.
Oh
yeah. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. I like it, but I like it and I hate it. Like keep
Judge. But this issue was mainly set up for the next one.
Yeah, clearly. Like I don't have that much to say on it. Besides that, like, yeah, it's really dark. The way this universe goes around things and how the council treats like the obsolete Transformers is just fucked up. And yeah, population control is no bueno. That was my moral of the story for this.
Lesson of the day: don't commit genocide.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, we can. I'm good.
Yeah, I guess I am too. I had a thought while we were going through it, but now I can't remember what it was, and it's not coming back to me, so let's just move on.
Okay. So, issue 36, art's just by Alex Milne for this one. We opened this issue 4 million years ago with Orion Pax and his team of X-Men beating up some bads.
Team of X-Men. And it is X-Men.
Yeah, they go through all their mutant powers again. So.
Yeah, it's funny.
So while they're doing that, suddenly our crew appears. And this is just a side tangent. Read Comics and my notes did not do the 2-page spread for this. So I had to copy paste both halves of it. And it annoys me.
Read Comic. We don't use Read Comic on this channel. What are you talking about, Rebecca?
I own these comics legally, but they don't do the 2-page spreads and it annoys the shit out of me.
Again, we as Mini Corner Presents do not use Read Comic on this channel.
But she actually does own all of it. She just said that.
Yeah.
I legally own it, which means it cancels out if I pirated it.
Yeah, but
that's how it works. I think that's how it works with video games. Anyway.
Yeah. So flashback to what was a few minutes ago in the present. We get a recap of what's going on. Rodimus gets a time phone to talk to the present day crew, and more importantly, we establish a few rules for a time traveling team. No saying they're from the future, no interfering, and no killing anyone. And if they do slip some future info by accident, Chrome Dome's on memory erasing duty. So back in the time traveled past, Orion and past skids think that the Lost Light crew is the reinforcements they called. Turns out Orion and his group were out in the desert because they're trying to protect a secret hotspot, which is where a bunch of new Transformers come from. As Orion catches up to speed, Cyclonus notices a strange aircraft hovering above the hotspot, which Pax says he doesn't know what it is, but it's been there for a day already. Then we see past Trailbreaker walk into the base.
Yeah.
So while Rodimus is distracted by the appearance of Trailbreaker, his drop time phone starts ringing. Pax answers, and it turns out Megatron's on the other line. The two talk about Megatron's identity crisis, and Optimus says that if Megatron's lost, he could always join him. Megatron laughs and says, well, that's tragic. He thinks he will eventually. I really like that scene. But
yeah, I love that conversation.
So over with Rodimus, he pulls Trailbreaker aside and breaking his own time travel rules warns him that if he's ever on Offset 17, which is the planet he was killed on, to not leave the ship, and then tells him he's a good person before taking back the time from Orion. So now in contact with his co-captain, Megatron exposits that with time, the present-day crew can pinpoint Brainstorm's location, but both him and the rest of the crew will have a limited number of jumps left. Additionally, radiation seems to be flowing from to the present from the past, which causes Rodimus to realize that the aircraft outside is irradiating / killing the sparks below. So he relays this information to the crew, and Rewrite corrects him and says this isn't an attempted murder, but an experimentation mutating the sparks. Probably, it's not like he knows what's going to happen in the future or anything. So Orion decides they can't risk the sparks being hurt and ignores Rodimus's suggestion that he stay inside the base, and they come up with a plan. Trailbreaker puts up a giant force field around the area, and the group begins to attack. And the other members of Orion's team, Roller starts to teleport the sparks somewhere safe, though he quickly disappears into an explosion. As the battle rages, Rodimus gets another call saying that Brainstorm's time jumped further into the past and that they're going to be sent after him. Rodimus responds, saying that they need a few more minutes, and informs Chrome Dome that he'll have to wipe everyone's memory except Trailbreaker's. Chrome Dome can do this memory wipe by shaking people's hands, and Rodimus's excuse for excluding Trailbreaker is that it may ruin his force field ability, which Chrome Dome doesn't really buy.
Right, because why would it?
Yeah, so running out of time, Orion has Trailbreaker shield him, and Windcharger, who's another one of his X-Men, throw him at the craft, and he's able to blow it up. Though there's no sign of Roller, the day is saved. Chrome Dome shakes almost everybody's hands, and as the crew is ready to be beamed up, so to speak, Trailbreaker comes up to him and shakes his hand, ironically saying, "Don't forget about me." And we end our issue with Rodimus yelling his name as they disappear, leaving the now memory-wiped Trailbreaker to ask the rest of his team, who wants to go for a drink? And that's the end of issue 36.
Oh, man. Fool!
Idiot.
Oh, man.
It's tragic. It's tragic. I wish I cared more about Trailbreaker.
I feel like the past two issues made me care about him a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit,
yeah. I'm not like bawling over here, you know?
I think
Right.
Well, first off, I want to take the time to address that, like, Rodimus just used AAVE to talk to fucking Megatron. He said sus.
Do you think Rodimus has played Among Us?
Yeah. So let's get that out of the way. Second of all, I literally like rolled my eyes the moment freaking Rodimus was like breaking his own time travel code because he's the fearless leader and can do whatever he wants.
Why would you expect him to do anything different though?
No, because that's who he is.
Every rule he has, he breaks.
Yeah, so
I love him for it.
Yeah, but yeah, the fact that like he like tries to like prevent Trailbreaker's death, but then timey-wimey stuff. It's just like the universe correcting the universe be like, no, he's destined to die anyway because he touched Chrome Dome, he forgot, and then they're already off. And it's just like, but like, did you really care much about Trailbreaker? I really don't think they did, honestly. I
don't even think it's that they care. It's more just like he feels responsible or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Like if you remember all the way a while back when I was saying like he keeps making bad decisions, he keeps doing shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when he tries to do it, it doesn't work out.
But I thought this issue was really cool. I like seeing Optimus as like space as space cop Orion Pax for a little bit, because I remember the last time we did that was like way early on, like I think like the third volume I think it was.
Yeah.
So I like seeing Optimus as Orion Pax in the past. I think it's really cool. That conversation that he has with Megatron is very well done. Best piece of writing that has happened so far, I think.
I think that's easily the highlight of the issue. Really, the highlight of the entire arc is present Autobot Megatron talking to Optimus before he was an Autobot.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Like, and you wouldn't think that like Optimus would be like at that position of being like you're an Autobot, because he doesn't know what that is, and two, like the Decepticons don't even exist yet, so you wouldn't even know what Megatron being a Decepticon, how bad Megatron being a Decepticon would be like. So it's pretty much What?
Yeah, I think what makes it interesting too, what you just said, Mikey, is that he, as far as Optimus knows in the past, like Megatron's not a bad guy yet.
Yeah, he's not. But he honestly isn't. See, like,
He's like Optimus is like a Megatron fan.
yeah, because he talks about his books.
That's really
he
cool.
talks about his manifesto, and he's like, "You should read it. It's good shit." And I'm just like, "Huh?" Like, I never would have thought that like Optimus, who deems as Megatron being his arch nemesis, was a fan of his work pre them being.
None of the baggage is there.
Yeah, it's cool shit. Like, it's really interesting to think about that. Think about it that way.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think this conversation is. I think you may have said this earlier. Like, it's probably the best writing we've had in this book so far.
Yeah, and we've read
It's
36 issues of this shit, and that's the best.
Yeah, I love that. That was easily the highlight for me.
But yeah. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. It's just art's cool. I mean, listen, I like that first page with where you see Orion, Pax, and Roller, like the very first one. It's dope.
Yeah, the lighting is very cool in this one.
Yeah, it's so sick. Okay, I think that's really fun. Do we ever see Roller again, or just Roller just in this issue? I thought he was kind of cool.
I don't remember. I know we saw him in another flashback issue from Volume 3, but I don't remember him again.
I assume he dies.
He also doesn't stick out to me, you know.
Yeah, like I assume he dies. Like he just died in the war. That's what I assume.
Same assumption.
But yeah, yeah, I'm good. I have nothing else to say. It's cool. It's a cool issue.
All right. Well, in that case, on to issue 37. All right. So this issue starts with our crew spread out now even further into the past. Rodimus is keeping an eye on Optimus Prime, but there's still no sign of Brainstorm anywhere, and the crew has to be extra careful now that they're in a populated area and can run into their past selves. So over in the present, Perceptor discovers that Brainstorm keeps time hopping to socially significant events. Megatron theorizes that his time machine might not be super precise, meaning he has to land at these important moments and lay low until his targeted moment arrives. They relay this info to Rodimus and note that if they can't stop Brainstorm soon, as their timeline gets more unstable, they may have to mess around with Time Machine, which could make things even weirder.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the past, Rung is scouting out a bar. He's worried he's going to be compromised since past Night Beach just outside, and we see Brainstorm is there and runs away as he spots Rung. Cut to past Nightbeat outside with his friend Quark in a couple pages that are directly reused from our flashback issue in Volume 3.
That's what I was thinking when I read it. I was like, these fuckers look familiar. And I was like, well, he got a cup in his hand. Is this when this... Because I remember it was like...
Yeah, I went back to that issue. It's literally the exact same pages. Just
when this guy got,
where they see the dead body.
Yeah, when this guy got fucking dead robo fluids in his drink, and he drank it. Like, that's like the highlight for me was that flashback was like, yo, he drank dead robo fluids. Oh,
well, it's just food anyway, so it's not really that gross.
Yeah, but he got drawing like 3 pages for this issue. Probably more, because they also use other flashback stuff that was in other stuff. Not that we read, but like way back.
Okay.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. It's interesting because now you're like, oh, they were kind of like clever about it.
Yeah.
Even though it's also kind of lazy.
It's both. It's clever. It's lazily clever.
I mean, Matt, is it lazier than Kirkman reusing like Ryan Otley redrawing panels in Invincible or reusing them, or is it not as lazy as that?
Do you mean the joke about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that was for the jokes, and it was funny.
Okay. Fair.
So I don't know how to answer that question.
So this is lazier. Got it.
Yes.
All right. So
but cooler. It's lazier, but it's cooler. Go ahead.
All right. So elsewhere on the planet, Rewind spots Brainstorm on the move, and Cyclonus and Tailgate give chase. However, before they can ground him, Brainstorm travels once again. So the group reconvenes at the bar, and while they remain in the same location, they travel back another year. Come to find out, the crew is in the exact same location. A Brainstorm just landed, but as Ultra Magnus points out, it doesn't make any sense why he'd land here if he wanted to kill Optimus Prime. So the past crew splits up again, with one group staying at the bar and another headed to Prime's location. So, as part of the away crew, we see while on patrol, Brainstorm sneaks up on past Rung and knocks him out with some robot brass knuckles. Additionally, over with Chrome Dome and Rewind, Rewind suggests that when this is over, they use the time case to find out what happened to their timeline's Dominus, which Chrome Dome is against because they aren't allowed to interfere with the past. And more importantly, it threatens their relationship. Then Whirl interrupts as he spies his past self and realizes that time traveling to this date in the past was important because this is the day they arrest Megatron.
Yeah. I love
Whirl. Whirl's consistently one of my favorites. He's been kind of in the background, especially recently, but he's so funny.
He's the Deadpool of this book, dude. He's such a fucking crackhead, and I love it. He literally just pointing out, "Oh, guys, look, it's me when I get arrested. Look at me." It's so funny.
He works so well for me. I'm sorry, I have trouble talking today. It really feels like Roberts is a lot of fun writing him.
Yeah,
because it's literally just robot Deadpool.
Yeah.
He even has a tragic backstory, which we'll touch on in a bit. So, cut to the bar group. Past Megatron is also present as the crew sits around and drinks, waiting for something to happen. Tailgate complains his drink is missing a curly straw, and as Rung reaches behind the bar to grab him one, he knocks over some guy's drink, spurring a bar fight. The group decides to sneak out the back as the fight goes on, and past Megatron hides under a table. Outside the bar, we see the police coming in about to arrest Megatron and the others, and Brainstorm watches in exasperation. Over with the away group in the past, Chrome Dome and Rewind are back to arguing about whether they can intervene as they watch someone get murdered below. Then as three goons appear, Whirl attacks them. Chrome Dome says Whirl can't kill these guys because doing so could get him killed in the future past. However, these guys are involved with Whirl's tragic backstory, so he needs to take out his anger on someone. Fortunately for him, Chrome Dome says he was only attacked by 2/3 of the goons, so he gets a pass on killing one of them. So over in the present, everything outside the ship has stopped moving, with Perceptor theorizing that they have less than an hour before their timeline collapses. And to make matters worse, Ultra Magnus's sensors no longer recognize Megatron, as Megatron says he thinks he's made a huge mistake. Looking at the pattern, Megatron realizes Brainstorm's jumps correspond to important moments in his life, and figure out the next time and place he's going to be. The day that Megatron was made, and that's the end of issue 37.
So basically, this arc is, what if you could go back in time and kill Hitler?
Literally.
Yes. That's why I loved this. I loved this twist so much. I was like, yo, that's so, like, I thought that's so cool. Like, it's just like, they're just gonna go back, and he didn't want to kill Optimus, wanted to kill Megatron.
You know, where exactly two of these characters technically land on the "would you kill baby Hitler"
Yeah. It's oh god, I thought this was really cool. I didn't really see it coming either, which is like, I think it's a pretty well written twist. So, but yeah, can you remind me who the fuck is Robo Spartan? What's his name?
The guy Megatron was talking to?
Yeah.
That's Impactor. He's not really important in our
Impactor. Book. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I didn't really catch the name, so like when I read it, so I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Like I said, he's not really relevant in our book. He's over in like other books doing stuff sometimes, but it doesn't really matter. He's just like a tough guy Autobot.
Yeah. And I like the fact that technically Rung is the reason why Megatron gets arrested. Like it's so funny, like how that happens.
I remember seeing like Tumblr posts years ago where people are like, so the reason everything happened in Transformers is because of a curly straw.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, no, I thought this issue was really cool. Brainstorm time traveling, I mean, and enacting his plan was like pretty well done. Like they did a good job of making him realize, oh wait, no, you not really know no one's really getting exactly what his ulterior motives are, because they think he's going after Pax, but then like he's jumping at these times that aren't related to Pax. So I was like, that's interesting way to go about it. Yeah, man, World is great. Fucking World is such a crackhead. I love him so much. The fact that Rewind wants to like alter time to find Dominus, and then Chronom's like, "No, you silly bastard! What are you doing? That's not okay." We can't do that. It's cool.
Yeah, there can only be one codependent person in this relationship.
Exactly. But yeah, nah. I think the ending was just the twist. The twist was so good. I think, and yeah. Let me say is it like it's the so is this Megatron like being created or like being like upgraded because he's not gonna like is like all the caution tape gonna go away? Okay, gotcha.
I think this is his birth.
His birth. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was kind of like lost in when I read it at first. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
like who decided to give him caution tape eyebrows though? Like who's the genius behind that?
Well, I mean, that honestly, it raises a lot of questions that I'm sure have answers, but I don't fully understand. Like, how do Transformers come into
existence?
Being? Yeah, who's Megatron's mom? Do Transformers have moms? Like, I don't. This machine that's building him right now. Who told the machine to build him? How do these? I don't.
The machine
I don't
is
know.
his mother, Matt.
We've technically been over this lore before, but I don't feel like going over it right now.
Yeah. Have we been? Okay. You know what? Honestly, I don't even
It was in the volume you ditched us for.
It was. I just don't remember it.
Anyway, moving on then, if we're
I'm good.
Thoughts. So our final issue of today, issue 38, again, art by Alex Milne. Following up on last issue's cliffhanger, Megatron rages and demands that they send him back in time to defend himself. Perceptor tells him to back off and says that even if they were willing to do that, they couldn't because they only have enough energy for one more jump, and Ultra Magnus basically tells him he'll just have to put his faith in Rodimus whether he likes it or not. Mm-hmm. 5 million years in the past, our crew is able to make it to Brainstorm before he can pull the trigger on Megatron and temporarily incapacitate him. The guys think they've saved the day, but realize the timeline isn't resetting. Then look to see that they're back in the same position they were 3 seconds ago with Brainstorm holding a gun again. Rodimus tells him to hear him out, which he does. They say they know he's a Decepticon, and Riptide accuses him of trying to kill everyone on board the Lost Light, to which Brainstorm's like, clearly I just capacitated everyone, dumbass. Brainstorm is also aware that by time traveling, he's erasing their timeline, which he says is the point. Mm-hmm. In a bit of reverse psychology, Rung tells Brainstorm he should pull the trigger, but ultimately he can't. While Brainstorm has no qualms about making weapons that kill thousands of people, he's never directly killed anybody and surrenders his gun. It also... Were you going to say something?
No, I think it's fucking funny. He's just like... He's just like, oh my god, even though I make a bunch of weapons that murder massive amounts of people, I can't pull the trigger. I'm like, bro, you're an accessory to murder. What are you talking about? Like, just come on.
Yeah, but it's you're not a murderer if you're an accessory. Yeah. But anyway, it also turns out that before the crew arrived, Brainstorm had been contemplating killing Megatron on his own for the past 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So Brainstorm explains that he never set out to kill, only to steer Megatron away from life-changing events, but time travel shenanigans kept happening along the way, to which Whirl points out that nobody cares. Suddenly, past Megatron is shot and killed, and we see Rewind holding the smoking gun. According to Rewind, in a world where Megatron's dead, aka the Hell timeline we saw earlier, all of their lives suck and they live in a hellscape, but the universe is a better place for every other species. And after recording death and destruction for millions of years, he finally chose to do something about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However, Whirl can't let this stand because in spite of how much he hates Megatron, he hates the government more. He saves Megatron's life by implanting the special spark Brainstorm stole a few volumes ago into his body, making him the first hybrid transformer. With this... Wait, say that?
I said it just hit. I was just like, because I was literally gonna ask that before. It was like, yeah, why does Megatron have a unique spark that no one can even explain where it came from? This is why.
We got that back in volume 4, I believe. Yeah. But with this, the timeline stabilizes and their universe is saved, but the crew is now stranded in the past. Tailgate gets an idea to send a message to their future past selves, which is the message we saw all the way back in issue 1. Cyclonus says they're idiots, though, because all the warnings they just gave had net positive outcomes that won't come to pass if they listen to the warning. While the characters can't jump through time, there's enough energy left for one more jump in space. So Rodimus and Cyclonus teleport to a secret base where there's a prototype quantum engine. They run into security, so Cyclonus holds them off while Rodimus works on using the engine to charge their time case. A bit later, with the time case now fully charged, they accidentally invent quantum jumping and prepare to leave back to the present. Over with the rest of the group, we get Brainstorm's tragic backstory that he invented time travel to go back and save his crush from dying, but then decided he was going to save everyone as well. As the crew is about to be teleported, Brainstorm says he knows he should be held accountable for his actions or whatever, but he'd like to stay in the past, a chance he doesn't get as he's beamed up with everyone else. Mm-hmm. Back in the present, Brainstorm is thrown in the ship's brig. Rewind and Chrome Dome are back to their normal relationship, and almost everyone else is celebrating not dying.
Almost.
Elsewhere on the ship, Wrong asks Perceptor how Megatron got arrested at the bar fight if they didn't time travel originally. Perceptor explains stable time loops and how they always traveled back in time like it was preordained. He also goes, you know how I said a couple issues ago that parallel universes don't exist? Well, I accidentally invented parallel universes.
Oh God!
So, cut to see that in the Theo-fascist universe from earlier, that's still around, and they're holding that timeline's Rung captive since he's useless, and that goes against their religious beliefs. However, this council member claims that they figure out what he turns into, and it's the last thing they want, aiming a gun at him. Rung replies that this may be true, but he's figured out what his purpose is and smiles as he tells him to pull the trigger. And that's how we end issue 38 and volume 7. So,
yeah.
What do we think about this issue and what do we think about this arc?
I skimmed. Okay, you know what? I skimmed this issue. So
this was the wrong issue to skim. There's a lot of stuff in here.
There's a lot of stuff in here. Yeah.
A lot happens.
It's the resolutions of the arc.
Right. So I don't care about Rung. I don't care about Rung.
Neither do I, but he's James Roberts OC, so he's gonna make us look at him whether we like to or not.
I put him just like when I skimmed in, I saw like Rung was captured and all that. That version's Rung. I literally just like, and it ends with him smiling. I'm like, why do we care? Like, why Rung doesn't matter to us? Like,
well, apparently he matters to the universe because like whatever he transforms into has some bearing on the fate of the world or something.
It's less important in this comic and more important like the sequel series.
In the sequel series, it's more important. So, like, why
this comic sets up stuff for or not this specific issue, but just in general, like towards the end of this, you see setup for the next thing to come in some of the issues that obviously you don't know they're going to pay off until you read that. But
yeah, so like by the time we finish this, we're never going to see what Rung turns into. Well, at least that version.
No.
The fuck were okay?
Oh, okay. So it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
Then I'm not going to worry about it. I like Brainstorm. This issue on its own, really, I don't know how to increase my appreciation for Brainstorm.
A character you didn't even know who he was last volume.
Yeah, I literally was like, who the hell is this character?
But I think he's cool. I think he's a really fun guy. Let me, Mikey, talk a little bit why.
I mean, I do find it interesting the fact that, like, because like he couldn't actually bring himself to do it, to actually kill Megatron because of his beliefs or morality or whatever the fuck. That was interesting, and then I'm happy that like it explains why, like how no, the fact that Rewind was like, no, I don't give a fuck about beliefs, just fucking just murks this man. Because of his past, because of the timeline that he was from. Which I don't know how I feel about that, because it's just like, like even though Cybertron was kind of fucked, every other species was in the universe was fine, but like isn't like but you should only care about like Cybertron though. Like, why do you give a fuck about what these other species are that they're like in peace or not?
You see, Mikey, it's like a universe scaled trolley problem here.
Yeah, it's just okay, but yeah, no, I didn't. So because I didn't expect Rewind to pull the trigger. That kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, like Megatron's a hybrid now. Can you explain what that is again? Like I don't get like how is he a hybrid? Do that like other Spark?
So if you remember, to recap the lore, there's like two kinds of Transformers. There's the kind that just pop out of the ground.
Yeah.
And there's the kind that they build.
Yeah.
So they took the spark that popped out of the ground and put it in one of the bodies they build, and that's what makes him a hybrid.
Oh, that's right. I remember that lore. Cool.
So yeah. Okay.
So that answered my questions about mummy Transformers, I guess.
Mummy Transformers.
This issue was a roller coaster. And I think it was a lot of fun. Do you want to move on to final thoughts? Because I think at this point I mostly have final thoughts.
Yeah, we can move on to final thoughts if that's up to you. But all right. So comment. Hold the fuck on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Fletcher. Is this the issue in which Voss says in English, "Tarn, can you make me a sandwich with extra lettuce"? I don't know what the fuck that means, Fletcher.
He's just saying shit out here. I don't know, man.
I don't believe that's right. Tarn was not in this issue, was he?
He's in next issue, or
I'm sorry, no.
Next volume.
We're referring to Tarn as Suge Knight from here on out. I don't care.
I think it was really risky to do a time travel story. I was really nervous going into this because, man, time travel can be super dumb.
Yep.
I think it kind of worked. You know what? I think it kind of worked. It was dumb. It was super dumb. But I think
all time travel is kind of dumb.
That I really enjoyed. I'm sorry?
I said all time travel is kind of dumb.
Yeah, exactly. But I liked this. I thought it was fun. And if nothing else, it got us a conversation with Megatron and Optimus Prime. And that's really all I need. Yeah, I thought this was just a really fun time travel adventure. And we got resolution on the Megatron's unique spark thing. We got resolution on that message from the first issue.
Mm-hmm.
There's big developments in here, and also we had a fun little adventure. There's a bar fight. There's a bar fight in this story.
Yeah, I like the bar fight. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I think this is a really fun story. And it's also super dark, but it's also just really goofy. Roberts, I didn't mention it, but throughout the entire story, he keeps making these wink and nod jokes about time travel that are kind of groan-inducing, but also just delightful. I love this. I love this arc.
It was cool.
The more I think about it, the more I like it.
It was cool. I think it's fun. It is fun in terms of seeing Transformers time trap have what's it called? I was about to make a Bill and Ted reference, but I kind of forgot what it was. But yeah, they have a nice big excellent time travel adventure we don't really expect Transformers to have. So the fact that we see that in this arc is very fun, but also a lot of dark shit. I think some of the darkest shit we've seen so far, especially when seeing the fascist parallel universe of Cybertron, and then having what's it called? Trailblazer. I don't remember. Trailbeater getting eviscerated. That was nice.
That was great.
Really liked Rewind. I thought Rewind was really cool, and the fact that he's hey, can we let's manipulate time travel for our own benefit? And then Chromedome was that's not okay. And then him pulling the trigger on Megatron, that was cool. But I did like the fact that we got resolution on how Megatron got the spark in the first place. It was Whirl. Whirl's goated. Whirl's the best character in this book. Overall, this was a lot of fun. I thought it was a lot of fun, even though I don't like the fact now that they're teasing stuff with Rung that we're not gonna see. So it's just that bothers me. But
we could see it, but it's just we aren't covering on the show.
Yeah, we're not covering.
No, not as of now. Like I said, if we decide down the line we need to pull back viewers in, we can cover it. But honestly, I think the sequel series is a little weaker than More Than Meets the Eye, but that's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Like I think Rung turns into like Matt. What do you think Rung turns into? Let's look at theater right now. What do you think Rung transforms into?
What do I think? A Stargate.
A Stargate.
Yeah, I think Rung transformed into a Stargate.
I think Rung turned into a fucking time bomb.
A time bomb? He just explodes?
If it's something that apparently shakes up the Transformers universe, a time bomb. He's a fucking
Rung is he's like the worst X-Men ever. He can explode once.
Yeah, the freaking I remember that fucking book. Yeah, I'm looking up his name right now because we have to acknowledge it on the channel while we're still on. I love that. That's his character. That's what Rung is. The moment he blows up, he's done.
You guys would never guess without reading the wiki, and I feel like it's gonna piss Matt off when he finds out what it is.
Oh, that must be terrible.
Really?
That's the impression I get.
Okay.
I won't spoil anything though. We gotta finish More Than Meets the Eye before I actually spoil that.
Yeah, freaking Rung is the Bailey Hoskins of Transformers. That's what he is.
Hoskins.
Oh Lord, but yeah, that's what I think. So Stargate, time bomb. Rebecca, I can ask you because you already know, but like it's just, damn. Yeah, put in the comments. What do you think? What do you think Rung turns into? Tornado.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, you'd never expect a time travel story in a Transformers book. You have to remember this is actually an X-Men book, and they do time travel.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this is not the first Transformers time travel thing, but it is one of the more significant. Huh?
I can't imagine it is.
No. Yeah, so my thoughts on the book / the arc. I like this arc. It's not my favorite. I don't know. So like some of the earlier, I like the like lighter, like as much as I like the like darkness and stuff, like the angst, you know. But I do like think the book really shines when it's just the characters getting to hang out and stuff like that. So I think that's really fun. We're gonna see more of that kind of stuff next volume. Which if you want to put up my slides, I can go over that real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, let's do it.
So next volume, it's volume 8 that covers issues 39 through 44, streaming Monday, February 20th at 8 p.m. Mikey, you'll be happy to know that after this comes the Drift series.
Let's go! I can't wait. I'm excited
for you.
So, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Like I said, I like this arc. It's not my favorite. I think there's some really good character moments. I like the stuff with like Rodimus trying to save Trailbreaker. I like the conversation with Optimus and Megatron. I thought that was really well written. I like the bar fight and that like whole kind of issue where they're like back in the past trying to do all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. There's a lot of there's time travel stuff. There's a lot of dark and like gritty stuff. There is a lot of just like there's a lot of lore and stuff like that's resolved that we've seen in previous issues in here that I think is really cool. Yeah, it's a fun arc. It's fun. And it's just a lot. That's all I'll say. It's fun and a lot. But yeah.
Do we get anything to plug?
Do we? So yeah, as of right now, yeah. So that's basically the show. Yeah. So thanks for everyone watching or everyone who will watch this. We appreciate it. So yeah, as Rebecca said, check out the next episode of this on the 20th. So the next like 2 weeks. As of right now, nothing. As of right now, no books or anything like that. Well, we're probably gonna have to figure out what books we're gonna do at some point. But I know next week. Sometimes it's so soon. Yeah, I gotta prepare for that. Next week we have our second off-panel interview next week. And I'm not gonna say who it is. I just want y'all to just watch the video when it comes out. But I'm very excited to interview this person. I love his work. Even Matt is like puzzled a little bit.
Do I know what you're talking about? Did I
know
what you're talking about?
No, you do not.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen on Wednesday, and I will probably post it the next day. And yeah, probably check out the clip I dropped today of like talking about our top 2 best comics of last year. Also check out the DC Studios conversation we had on After Dark like a couple like last week. Yeah, there's a bunch of other content y'all should check out, please. So do that while you're subscribed to us. Thanks for subscribing as always, and then click the bell to get notified when we drop other videos. And that's basically it, people. As always, get home safe, and we'll see y'all next time. All right, later.